Well, thanks again for having this, and thanks to all of you for coming here and looking around and seeing all the campaign buttons. I think many of us are talking to our own supporters, but
We're glad you're all
well, we're looking forward to seeing you at the next event too. I think that the people here in Maine are going to have a difficult choice, and I think they're going to have a wonderful choice. I think this is a very strong field, and I don't think that there's a weak link in the group. I would just offer, I know we've all been going to debates and house parties and those sorts of things, and I think we're hearing recurring themes. We're hearing about high energy costs in the state, people that are paying a lot at the pump in their home heating oil. We're hearing about the problem of having jobs here, the problems with the middle class trying to get ahead. We're hearing about the war in Iraq. We've had about 30 Mainers that have been killed out there, and this is draining our treasury. These are the problems that are hitting us locally, and they're national problems. And they're going to be problems that our next congressman is going to have to address. And the fact of the matter is, we're all going to be getting down to Congress, and there are 535 members, 100 senators, 435 House members. And we're all going to be in a seniority-based system. And I would offer to you, for your consideration, that in Congress right now, there are very few people who come from working families that know what it's like to pay education costs, to pay student loans, as my wife and I are. We have very few people who have a background on energy issues. And we have all these members of Congress that are sitting around wondering what we ought to do in Iraq, but there's one Iraq war veteran. His name's Patrick Murphy from Pennsylvania, and he's endorsed me. And I can make a difference on day one on some of the most critical issues in Congress. I'd ask for your support, and at a minimum I'd ask for your consideration. But this is going to be an exciting race, and in the next, 87 days? I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, thanks again for coming.
Well, I want to thank you all as well. This is a remarkable journey for me. I'm not a professional politician. I've never run for office before. Many people have said, why would you do this? And I think that Shelley says again and again that this is a historic year, and I think this is really true. I'm a person who makes a difference. When I moved to Maine, I found that the foster care program, the children in foster care were getting fragmented health care, mental health care, and so I worked with the Department of Health and Human Services and created a program that's made a difference. And in the last 10 years, I've seen 1,400 children in foster care, and foster parents tell me on a regular basis that thank God for this program because now their kids are getting the care that they need. As we were doing the program, we found that there weren't mental health services available for children. In 1997, the state spent $63 million paying for children to be hospitalized outside of the state. There weren't services available locally. And so I was able to get a grant from the Bingham Fund and Medicaid and put together a program that integrated mental health with my primary care office. And we've made a difference, and it's been sustainable. I changed the way physicians practiced by bringing a child psychiatrist in to teach physicians and nurses and nurse practitioners how to provide care to these children. Rather than hiring, or rather than bringing in the pharmaceutical companies, we hired a child psychiatrist. So it's called academic detailing instead of economic detailing. My town had mills closing left and right. We had 6 teenage girls have 8 suicide attempts. There was terrible depression. There weren't jobs for these kids, there weren't programs for these kids, they didn't have an after-school program. So I helped to put together a mentorship program and an after-school program. And again, it was through grants, it was through a federal grant. And this is what I discovered. I discovered the federal government makes a difference in states through grant programs. And so I've been able to get a number of these programs to bring me to Maine to make a difference. And when I go to Washington, what I'll do is I'll help to develop more of these grant programs like the America's Promise program. There's only $28 million in this program. It's not fully funded. We need to put more money into it. So I hope I get your consideration as well, and I hope I get your vote.
Thank you all also for coming out. It's always great to have these conversations and to hear and listen, most importantly. As I mentioned when I started tonight, I have been traveling around this district for quite some time and really listening to Maine people and what they're going through. And it has become so clear to me, there really are 3 issues One is ending the war, which must happen immediately, and I will not vote for a single more penny for this war unless there is a clear withdrawal plan. The second is ending our dependence on costly foreign oil. This is undermining our foreign policy and destroying our climate and causing people to be unable to even heat their homes at the moment. But the third one, and I would say the one that is the most important, that I hear about the most from people, is the struggle to make ends meet, and is this economy. This administration that has not ignored the economy. That's not even a right way to say it, because I think they've undermined it. They've understood exactly what they're doing and how they can funnel wealth to the super rich and take it away from everybody else, from all of us. When hedge fund managers are paying 15% and the rest of us pay 30, 35%, that's completely backwards. When people can't heat their homes in the wintertime, I was talking to a man, I was sitting in his living room down in Shapley, who had lived his entire life in Maine and worked hard, and he was 69 years old. And at 69 years old, he was telling me, you know what, I had to take a job this year because I can't afford to heat my house. I mean, at 69 years old, after you've worked your entire life, you shouldn't have to go get another job to be able to heat your home. And I think it's important that the person that we send down to Washington is connected to Maine people and works with Maine people and is listening to Maine people. And that's what I bring to this race. When you run an agency like I run, you can't let go of the faces and the voices of folks every day who are saying to you, please help me survive in an economy that's tearing us apart. It's not allowing us to think about the other issues that we need to solve. So I would appreciate your support in June. This is a very exciting race, and this is a great opportunity for us to set the direction of the Democratic Party. And I think we need to send somebody down there who's going to be a progressive activist, who was willing to challenge leadership as I have been, who's willing to reach out to the other side of the aisle, but most importantly, who understands Maine people and the struggles they're going through today. Thank you again very much. And thank you, Cy, for doing a fabulous job.